Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the last episode, we headed back to Ul'dah because there was a bit of an issue with the refugees in the city. Alphino was injured, but not too seriously. Apparently there were some riots that were instigated by a merchant who was handing out weapons to the refugees and using the animosity that had been building up amongst the refugee population at some of the tight-fistedness of the merchants in Ul'dah and some of the elements in power in the city, and drove them to riot. And so we are trying to track down who this person was and what their motivations are. Given that it was a merchant who was doing this, it most likely is someone who is in the syndicate who is not too happy with the whole refugee situation in the city and is using the rioting refugees as a way to discredit the Sultana and the Flame General Raoban. That is my guess, anyway. So, that is what we're going to continue working on here. So, we need to speak with Landebert in Pearl Lane to see if we can't track down this merchant, figure out who he is and where he is, and put an end to this whole farce. Alright. So, let's go ahead and head over here. And talk to this guy, Landebert. First comes a man with a promise of deliverance. Seeing your suffering firsthand will bear it no longer, says he. Your friend, your ally, your comrade at arms. Take his hand, he will guide you to a better tomorrow. Then comes a soldier with the promise of justice. Follow the man who came before you at your peril, says she. For they who sow the wind shall reap the whirlwind. The man's no saint, any fool can see that, but we're but tools for his task, to be used and discarded. As for this soldier, she thinks only of her mission. She's more honest than the man, but every bit as ruthless, make no mistake. With whom shall I cast my lot? Neither, says I. Far as I'm concerned, you're no better than the bastard you pursue. Now the soldier's thinking, how else might she get what she wants? She's tried the diplomatic approach and failed. Mayhap a firmer hand is needed. Mayhap she needs to make an example of this Alamegan scum like she did those 5 fools from Lost Hope. Well, get no justification from me, soldier, if that's what you're waiting for. I'll not raise a hand against you. But neither will I lend a hand to help you. Not that it makes any difference. Pah, the gods seem bent on granting your every bloody wish. There you are, Landebert. Have you given any thought to my proposal? Mrs. the mistrustful merchant. You? Oh, this is the guy we're looking for, I guess. There he goes, toward the gate of Thal. Go and claim your prize for coin and country. Alright, let's go chase him down. Search for the merchant in central Thanalan. This way. Oh, and you may notice that I've changed the glamour on my armor. Just because I wanted to change. Alright, where... is this? Over here. The Ul'dah Dispatch Yard. Hey, it's Papashan. And there's our merchant. Hi. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kakiran's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. What you looking for? We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I should tell you everything. Well, that's no good. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Alright, well, looks like someone decided to silence him. Alright, stone torch. Hold adventurer, I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. Well, I guess we'll give him the rundown. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you're not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Yeah, I mean, I was at point-blank range. I wouldn't have had to fire an arrow at him. Alright, report to Swift to the Hall of Flames. Alright. Which way am I going? Which way am I going? This way. Alright, let's talk to Commander Swift. What news, Ayame? Where is the merchant? Well, he's dead. Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Ayame. He was silenced. Too many knew his face and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Alright, we're going to go for the silver pieces. Alright. Evolution. Swift has a message for you from General Ralban. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Alright. Let's head to the Aetheryte Chamber. And Aether it out to the Chamber of Rule. This is where I'm going, right? Yeah, it is. Alright, we have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. Take the silver pieces.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji? But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin,
man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain?
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
All right. Omega weapon, as opposed to Ultima weapon. So, plot thickens. All right, Alphino. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet, the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? Intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions. That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scion best suited to this task, Sergeant Yatsurugi. Do take a moment to visit Maelstrom Command and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. I think that's the PvP area. Alright, be gone, whelp. This is no place for children. I'm sorry. Oh, it's L. I was looking for you, miss. People said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? We've run into her before. So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I am afraid. However, we can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'd help me look, mister? Of course, but first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, and no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momody will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I feel Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Ayame, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelves Wood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelves Wood, the primal threat she spoke of before, has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go, Ayame. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Alright, so the Sylphs may have summoned their primal, Ramu. Alright, so let's go ahead and head back over to Revenant's Toll. Wrong way. Is it this way? And let's go have a chat with Minfilia and see what's up. I have a pretty good idea of what's up, but we'll find out nonetheless. Alright, Minfilia. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Yummy, and the latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless, it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Alright, we'll take those silver pieces. And we are ready. Minfilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you if it were not urgent. To business then. I received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramuh. I'm sorry, may have? It is not certain? The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylph lands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were you not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalymo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramuh once, right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orion stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis likely the Sylphs perceive this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quicken their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of man which have paved a way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Ayame, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let's continue this discussion anon. We must first needs consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Ayame. Pray report to Commander Hulwa at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. The other Scions and a team of several other players. Alright, speak with Vorsail Hulwa at the Adder's Nest. Alright, so let's head over there and have a chat. Alright, here he is. Ayame of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She's of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial, skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. We've been there before. Alright, so back over to the 8th Rite, we'll teleport ourselves over there and then have a chat with the Elder Seedseer. It's going to be a Conjurer's Guild. The other signs have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes, indeed. Alright, looks like the gang's all here. Istola, Thancred, Ida, Papalimo. Alright.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Alright, so out to Little Solace, and we find out how to get in touch with Ramuh. Alright, let's go ahead and teleport over. I do like that in some of these more recent quests, a lot more of them are voiced. Kind of helps me out a little bit. Alright, so let's head back over to Little Solace. We haven't been here in a while. Alright, there's our Serpent Lieutenant. Ayame of the Scions, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramuh himself. An unenviable task, and one that shall be made all the more difficult by the interference of the touched sylphs. With the aid of the Scions and the inhabitants of Little Solace, the Order of the Twin Adder will enter the Sylph lands, and do what can be done to clear your path. I shall brief you on the impending operation once you are satisfied with your preparations. Alright, I'll take those silver pieces. Alright. What's up? Ready, are you? Then allow me to explain the finer details of this foray into the Sylphlands. In order that you might treat with the Lord of Levin, we must first learn where the primal is to be found. Though we are certain Ramuh was summoned somewhere within the territory of the touched sylphs, his precise whereabouts yet elude us, and aimlessly thrashing about in the undergrowth will only lead to unnecessary conflict. We are fortunate, then, to have the experts of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn at our disposal. Mistress Eda and her companions will make use of their Charlean devices to measure recent etheric activity. They assure me the disturbance caused by the summoning of a primal shall prove a most obvious beacon. But we must not get ahead of ourselves. Your first objective will be to join up with your fellow Scions. Time being of the essence, they have already entered the Sylphlands. Fear not, however, they have a Twin Adder escort and a Sylph guide for help! This one needs help! That's Maxio. The guide. What has become of our companions? These ones were ambushed at the border of the Touched One's territory. Touched Ones tossed a stinging scale bomb, and arrow-shooting ones were left coughing and crying. What are the Scions? Arrow-shooting ones were in the lead and took the worst of the stinging. Other walking ones scattered this way and that to escape the same fate. Barely 2 steps in the Sylphlands, we already have lost our charges. But it will profit us a little to go running after them until we know exactly what we're facing. First, let us tend to the scouts and assess the situation. This one has cleansing water for walking ones, splash it over arrow shooting ones, and rinse away the stinging scales from eyes and nose and mouth. Why thanks, I will leave this task in Ayame's capable hands. "'Tis hardly an auspicious beginning, but I must ask that you adhere to the plan and rendezvous with your fellow Scions. If you can get the scouts back on their feet, they may be able to point you toward your companions. Oh, and be on your guard, if this operation is to succeed, we can ill afford any further mishaps. Coughing and crying ones are not far. This one will show walking one the way." Of course. But I think that we are at the end of the episode here. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the Ramuh primal battle, and we may be, a lot closer than I think. I can't remember exactly how long it is from here, but the primal fights are usually not that long. So we should hopefully be able to get to it and then get through it next episode. We'll see. All right, but we'll go ahead and stop here, as I said. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.